You've probably been buying and cooking mushrooms for years, and you heard so many different conflicting stories on preparing them and shopping for them that you are left confused. And then you probably checked out all the stuff on the internet, all the different methods, only to find out you still don't know the story. And then you might have ended up on your mushroom cooking journey just like me. I mean, feeling confused, feeling alone, feeling frustrated because I still don't know how to do it properly. And then one day, you cannot take it any longer. You want to know the ultimate way of cooking mushrooms. And you finally decide you had enough. You want to know the whole story. And where does it bring you? Of course, to me. I mean, we all love mushrooms. We all want to cook perfect mushrooms all the time. So I thought I make it my mission to find out and present to you the complete shopping, preparing, cleaning, and cooking mushroom story. So are you ready? During my research, I quickly realized that this is too big of a topic, so I narrowed it down to simply farmed mushrooms, which was still a wide topic in itself. So I narrowed it down again to just button mushrooms, because those are the ones which are most available, which are the most popular, and which we meet most of the time. But you can basically apply all that you learned today to other mushrooms too, just in case you wondered. I mean, the first thing I needed to find out is, how do you actually know if a mushroom is fresh or old? I mean, it's easy to say with vegetables, but I always found with mushrooms, which are not a vegetable, that's not so totally clear. I know they should be firm and they should also have a nice color. But I find that pretty basic, so I thought, what else is there to know that I know if I have fresh mushrooms? So I researched and ended up on a mushroom farm, and what I found out there was pretty amazing. I mean, it paid off. I came across something completely astonishing. I mean, I have been a chef for over 40 years. I used to manage and run some of the best restaurant kitchens in Europe, owned even one of the best restaurants, run my own cooking school. But I did not know the following, and it changed the way I buy and I store mushrooms forever. To determine the age of a mushroom, you look at the stem. Well, look at its length. Now, when they harvest mushrooms, they don't have much of a stem. Know this, the stem of a mushroom keeps growing after they harvest it. But as it keeps growing every day, it gets longer and longer. And a 1 to 2 week old mushroom has a long stem. And when it then even becomes older, the stem actually starts to become hollow. Now the problem is that the stem grows, it becomes harder and it becomes really porous. It draws out the moisture off the top of the mushroom and it does dry it out, making it soft, making it spongy, basically boring, leading to a mushroom that has lost most of its amazing texture. So what's the conclusion? Well, buy mushrooms with a short stem that has not become hollow. And when arriving at home, you break or remove the stalk or the stem out, and you store it, of course, with the mushrooms in a breathable bag or an open plastic bag or container that you leave a little bit open, so they can't go soggy because they start to sweat, but neither do you want to just leave them dry in a paper bag because that might dry them out as well. Now what do you do with the stems? Well, you use them exactly the same way as you use the rest of the mushrooms. The stem, like the mushrooms too, will have a much better and superior texture. Oh, I cannot wait to cook them. I mean, at the end of this video, I will show you a way cooking mushroom that is just so delicious. It's going to be your new favorite way of cooking mushrooms. I promise you that. And it's just absolutely amazing. What about cleaning mushrooms? Well, I'm actually glad you asked. Well, it's a bit of a myth that mushrooms absorb a huge amount of water during washing, but what they do, they absorb some water, But what they definitely do is exchange liquids, meaning a lot of flavor gets washed out. Hence, washing is not great, as they will be wetter and have lost flavor. And I mean, who wants that? And if you do need to wash your mushrooms because they're full of soil, like wild mushrooms, then flash wash them, like dip them into water very quickly and then place them onto a dry kitchen towel. And you might have to do that with wild forest mushrooms, which are full of needles, but farm mushrooms you never wash. You also don't peel them. That's something when they were really dirty in the old days. You wipe them dry with a towel or a knife tip. But here again, I come to your rescue, because I don't know if you have noticed that mushrooms are never really that dirty anyway, due to the way they are grown, because they are grown underground. So my tip is buy clean mushrooms and just forget about everything I told you here before. No, just joking. But I was not trying to waste your time. So, okay, what else is there to know about mushrooms? Maybe a mushroom joke. Okay, two mushrooms met in the forest. I think I better leave that. Well, did you actually know that humans were growing mushrooms since almost 3,000 years? The Romans did it, the Japanese did it, the Chinese did that. And the method of growing bud mushrooms was invented in the 1600s in Paris and is still used today. Now, when seasoning mushrooms, you need to know that they're neither salty, neither they're sweet, neither they're sour. So it's a pretty good idea to add those flavors to make your flavor and taste journey of your mushrooms complete. Now, the best flavors to go with mushrooms are, of course, bacon. But then bacon goes with just about anything, really. Parmesan? Oh, it's probably a similar story than bacon, but I love garlic and hard herbs like thyme and rosemary or sage. But the best part of the video is coming now, which is cooking the mushrooms. So, lots of people tell you that when you pan fry mushrooms to add a little water. Oh, no, I mean, it really freezes me off. I mean, you cannot just use that as a general rule. It really depends on how wet your mushrooms are. So imagine they're already wet and then you add more water and it just becomes a watery, wet mess, isn't it? I mean, I know. Mushrooms cannot be overcooked because they're not really a vegetable. But what they can do, they can become pretty rubbery and pretty boring. And later on in your plate, they release all the water and you just have a pool of mushroom juice there. And yes, I agree, you can add some water, but only when the mushrooms are really, really dry, which does not often happen. Now, if they're too dry, they will struggle to connect to your pan or to the heat of your pan, and then they don't cook properly. They can be really rubbery or even burn and be really chewy. So if you see, when you cook them, they make no noise, like no sizzling, then you know the mushrooms are too dry. In that case, you add a tiny splash of water to get them going. But otherwise, just pan fry them and usually use your ears. I mean, listen, sizzle means the mushrooms are cooking. Fat, I'm glad you asked, very little actually. What fat? Butter, of course. I mean, it's really up to you, but butter is the best. I mean, what you don't want to do to your mushrooms is add too much fat, because mushrooms are like eggplants. They're great in absorbing loads and loads of fats during cooking, leaving them really heavy, greasy, and unpleasant. So you do something that is called fat steam frying. I mean, I just made that up, but it sounds pretty good. And it will make sense, I think. So you start off with a little fat. When the mushrooms, similar like fruits or vegetables, get in contact with heat, they will start to release their water and go off into steaming. That then becomes steam frying. So think about stir frying, just without the fat. You let the water steam of the mushroom do the job instead of adding more fat. And in that way, they're not going to burn. unless they're too dry, but hey, we covered that already. And how long do you cook them? Literally, I just want to cook them halfway through. I still want to have a nice crunch. I want to have a bit of a bite, so I have the most of flavor. And they don't let all the water go, so they don't become rubbery and wet, which brings me to the ultimate part of this video, my favorite part, the way I cook mushroom. I mean, it is literally unami meets unami. It's the clash of two flavor titans with only one winner, which is you. I mean, you could use the same method with other flavors like garlic butter, soy sauce, smoke liquid or mixture of liquids, balsamic vinegar, sweet chili sauce, and so on and so on and so on. But today I use my favorite, the unami rich Worcestershire sauce, which has sweet, sour and salty. Remember what I said before? And both Worcestershire sauce and mushrooms are really rich in glutamate or MSG, which we these days call unami. So first heat the pan, add a little fat, in go the mushroom, fat gets absorbed, cook it for 2 minutes on the first side, turn it over, cook it for 1 minute on the second side. Only do that with really firm mushrooms. Old ones are better for soups. When the mushrooms are half cooked, add a good dash of Worcestershire sauce and keep it on the high heat so that the mushrooms absorb all the juices and they get glazed and they become really shiny, tasting really punchy, peppery, which comes from the tamarind of the Worcestershire sauce. I mean, that is my favorite way to serve mushrooms for breakfast, and tastes even better after a long night out. It doesn't often happen anymore these days. But it's also really good to steak, so check out my video on French fries to complete your ultimate steak sides. And thank you so much for watching. Have a great day. I look forward to seeing you next time.